Rock and Roll Geek Show 681.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Wednesday, January 27th, 2016, when I'm recording this show. And it's 6:42 p.m. And I just opened my second beer of the day. This is a fine Tecate. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. You know what they say? The second one is always the best, friends. Well, as promised last show I did a track-by-track review of the new Paul Westerberg, Juliana Hatfield album, which is called the I Don't Care's Wild Stab. I did a track-by-track of that, and I said after I finished the show I was probably going to do a track-by-track of the new Megadeth album, which is called Dystopia. And, of course, I didn't do it because I got lazy and flaked on it. Well, tonight I'm making good on my promise, friends. I'm going to do a track-by-track of the brand new album from Megadeth called Dystopia, which I think came out last Friday, the night that I did the track-by-track of the I Don't Cares, which took precedent because I'm more of a Paul Westerberg fan than a Megadeth fan. I'm not even a huge Megadeth fan, although I think that Dave Mustaine is one of the great singers simply because when you hear a Megadeth song, you immediately know it's Dave Mustaine singing. He's got an unmistakable sounding voice. You recognize it, it's him. Kind of just like Ozzy and just like Alice Cooper. Those guys have unmistakable voices, and to me, that makes them great singers. So whether you love or hate Dave Mustaine's voice, even the guy in Smashing Pumpkins, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. I don't remember the guy's name for Smashing Pumpkins. Those guys, you know it's them singing when you hear the song. That, to me, that makes them great singers. Great? No, but it makes them good singers because you know that they are the singer because they have an unmistakable voice. So there you go. When you start to stumble over your words, slow down just a little bit. There's a tip for all you podcasters. Take it from the professional, Michael Butler. He knows his podcasting. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's why I think Dave Mustaine is a good singer. Am I a huge fan of his? Not really. When I was in Exodus, we were on the same label as Megadeth, Capitol Records. And our record was coming out pretty close to around the same amount of time. I think our records were released within 2 months of each other. They had the album called Countdown to Extinction, and Exodus had Force of Habit. And I went to the whole band Exodus went to the Megadeth Countdown to Extinction record release party at a museum in Los Angeles. I think it was like Museum of Natural History or something like that. They had a bunch of dinosaur bones and stuffed saber-toothed tigers and things like that. I think Mick Cripps' brother works there now. My good friend Mick Cripps from L.A. Guns fame also plays in the Plunkets with me. Part-time band. Very part-time band. Anyway, we went to the Megadeth record release at the Museum of Natural History or whatever it was, and it was quite the lavish affair. And we should have seen the writing on the wall when we were there because they spent a lot of money on this Megadeth party. They didn't spend any money on an Exodus party. And they worked that Countdown to Extinction album pretty hard. It debuted at like number 2 and was all over MTV. And conversely, on the opposite end, the Exodus album didn't even chart and played on MTV maybe like 2 in the morning on Headbangers Ball. It didn't sell, and we got dropped from Capitol shortly after that. But the Megadeth album, the Countdown to Extinction album, is actually a pretty good metal album. So, where am I going with this? I don't know. I was just telling you a little Exodus Megadeth story. Met Dave Mustaine at that time. It was a fun party, and met the entire band, and they were all fairly cordial. We drank a lot and ate a lot. It was fun. A fun time. I was a new guy in the band. It was a good time. All right. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. A track by track of the new album from Megadeth called Dystopia. Before I do that, I should take care of some a couple of housekeeping things. I don't know if you listen to the Mad at Dad podcast, but the last several episodes we've done, somebody has died like the day we did a show. Well, Lemmy died when we were getting ready to do a show. I did an emergency rock and roll geek show, so we canceled the Mad at Dad. The day David Bowie died, we did a Mad at Dad podcast. And the next time Jimmy Bain from Dio, one of my favorite bass players, died, the same day we did a podcast. Same day we did a podcast, Glenn Frey from the Eagles died. So with all the people dying this year, we got the morbid idea that maybe we should we started talking about predicting who was going to go next. And Dave Slusher, my podcast mentor and co-host of Mad at Dad, got the idea to have a musician death pool, a Mad at Dad musician death pool. I told Martina about this. Pardon me, I'm going to take a sip of this fine Tecate. I told Martina that we were doing a musician death pool because she showed me a picture of Alice Cooper with Andrew WK, and Alice didn't look very good, and I thought that maybe he might be sick or something. And then I casually mentioned to Martina that we were doing a musician death pool, and she got really upset with me and said it was a very negative and morbid idea, which it probably is, but I think everybody is kind of in the back of their head trying to make predictions about who's going to die next because so many musicians are dying. Seems like, I don't know if it's more than normal, but it just seems like this year a lot of musicians are dropping off the face of the earth, and they're young, in their 60s. So anyway, Dave Slusher got the idea to do the musician death pool, and I went along with it. Why not? So if you would like to join the Mad at Dad musician death pool and do your predictions on who's going to die, the rules and link to where you can sign up for the death pool. It's a Doug Stanhope has a website. That's a celebrity death pool, and Dave Slusher did we did our own death pool, which is a subsidiary of that site, only for musicians. So if you would like to be a part of the musician death pool, just keep in mind it's all good fun. We don't wish death upon anybody. And as a matter of fact, I hope I lose. Which, by the way, I tried to sign up my own name for the death pool. I tried to predict that I was going to die because I'm a musician. They wouldn't let me get mentioned. They would not let me. I got disqualified because I'm not famous enough. There you go. Thanks, Doug Stanhope. But if you would like to take part in our musician death pool, go to madatdadpodcast.com/deathpool. That's madatdadpodcast.com/deathpool. And give your predictions. I think the predictions are going to go for another week, and then we're going to close it, and then they'll be accepting no more people to join in on the death pool. It doesn't cost you any money. Dave Slusher and I paid for this out of our own pocket. Actually, Dave Slusher paid for it out of his own pocket. So if you want to join in that fun and debauchery, go to madatdadpodcast.com/deathpool. I'll post a link to this episode at rockandrollgeek.com, www.rockandrollgeek.com. All right. There you go. That's the... Oh, do I have anything else? Yeah, I would like to thank Scott Womack for sending me something off my Amazon wish list. He sent me... I had no idea that this was still on my wish list, but I'm glad he sent it to me. It's a Coleman 4-man tent. I have a link to my Amazon wish list at rockandrollgeek.com. Anything that's on there, hey, you want to buy it for me? I'm not begging, but if you want to send me something from there, friends, it's much appreciated. And Scott Womack sent me the 4-man Coleman tent, which I can't wait to put into use. Thanks, Scott Womack. I really appreciate it. And before we get into the track by track, I may as well thank all the donors. But into the background, maybe I should play some Megadeth. Oh, by the way, if you're not a metal fan, I understand if you want to skip this episode. move on to the next one. The next episode, I'm going to be doing a regular Rock and Roll Geek Show, playing some music and some audio comments and show reviews and things like that. If you want to skip this one, I certainly understand, but hopefully you'll stick with it. I'm not a huge metal fan either, although I did play in a metal band, several metal bands, but I want to do a track-by-track of the new Megadeth, which, by the way, Billy Rowe gave me he saw Derek St. Holmes at NAMM, and he gave me the new Whitford St. Holmes, so I'm also do a track-by-track of the new Whitford St. Holmes album called Reunion soon. I need to give that one a good listen. But I've given Megadeth Dystopia somewhat of a decent listen. I've listened to it a few times, so I think I can give my opinions. But before we do that, let me thank people who have donated. In the background, let me play some classic Megadeth. Something from Countdown to Extinction. How about that? Symphony of Destruction. All right. We take a sip of this fine Tecate. Thank you to everybody who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Without your donations, this show would die a horrible death. Thank you to the people who donated on Patreon. I have a donor page on patreon.com/RNRGeek. I think that's the web address. There's a link on rockandrollgeek.com as well. Eric Stowell for the $5 every episode. Thank you, Eric. Thank you to Chiaki, my good friend Chiaki Hinohara, for the $5 every episode on Patreon. I just bought a salmon, and Chiaki and I are going to butcher that salmon up on Friday and have a big sashimi party. Thank you to Brian Springer for the $5 every episode. Thank you to Mathew Hunt for the $5 every episode. Thanks to my podcast mentor and Mad at Dad's co-host Dave Slusher for the $5. Thanks to Robert Harvey for the $2 every episode. And thank you to Corey Koehler for the $1 every episode. Those are the Patreon donors.
Its metal brain corrodes. You try to take us more.
You can also donate on PayPal. Like Mario Zoth donated $2. These are the people who have donated this month, by the way. Mario Zoth for the $2. Thank you, Mario Zoth. Thank you to Paul Fonderie for the $10. Thanks to Jeff Thieleke for the $10. Thank you to David Ivey for the $5. Thank you to Adrian Boschan, Boschrock in the forums and Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page. Thank you to Kynan O'Meara for the $5. Thank you to Dave Franco for the $10. Thank you to Gregg Long for the $5. Thanks to James Venners for the $10. Thanks to Dean Gillispie for the $5. Thanks to Richard Strom for the $5. Thank you to Dale Roller for the $5. Thank you, Andrew Howe, for the $5. Thank you to Jerr OCarroll for the $5. Thanks to Jerry... Take two. Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $10. Thanks to friend of the show, Todd Cunningham, for $10. Thanks to Lassie Satvik-Hagen for the $2. Thank you to Jeffrey Canaparoli for the $2. Thank you to Stephen Mascord for the $5. Thank you to John Skiller for the $2. Bradley Lisco for the $10. Thanks to Michael Villoria for the $2. Ralph Miller, friend of mine, for the $10. Thanks to Tim Smith, friend of the show, for the $10. The Rock and Roll Runner. Thanks to Anthony Lascalzo for the $2. Bradford Page for $2. Sigmund Hydasher for the $5. Thanks to School of Podcasting, $10. Thank you, Dave Jackson. Thanks to Chris Stanley for the $10. Thanks to Michael Stevens for the $10. Try to get all these names in before the song's over. Thanks to Dan McBride for the $5. Thank you to Peter Spark for the $2. Thanks to John Baveri for the $5. Thanks to Michael Mack, friend of the show and friend of mine, for the $2. Thanks to Patrick Shanahan for the $20. Thanks to Chris Harrison for $10. And finally, thanks to Delirium Records for the $5. Without your donations, friends, this show would die a horrible, stench-filled Megadeth. a stench-filled Megadeth. This show would die a horrible Megadeth. There you go. All right. The business is out of the way. Let's get right into the track by track of the new Megadeth album called Dystopia. Dystopia is the 15th studio album by American thrash metal band Megadeth, according to the Wikipedia. It was released on the 22nd of January 2016, last Friday. Produced by Dave Mustaine and Chris Rakestraw. It's the first record by the band since Take Two. This is the first one by the band since the system has failed not to feature longtime drummer Sean Drover, and also the first not to feature guitarist Chris Broderick since 2007's United Abominations. The drummer now is the guy from Lamb of God, Chris Adler, and the guy from this band called Angra, Kiko Luriro, if that's how you pronounce it. Those guys are the new guys in the band. I need a piece of paper to write on here. Hold on a second. I need to keep the score here. All right. So if you don't know about the Rock and Roll Geek scoring system, I'm sure you do by now if you're a listener of the show. If you're not, and you just happen to stumble upon this show by Googling Megadeth Dystopia track by track review, thanks for tuning in, friends. I have a feeling you will not be back, but if you are, I appreciate it very much. The way the Rock and Roll Geek scoring system goes for new listeners is if I like the song, on the original album, there are 11 songs. If I like all 11 songs, I give it an 11 out of 11. If I like the song, I give it a +1. If I don't like it, I give it a 0. And if it's okay, I give it a half. Let me find a pen here. And then I tally them all up. And that is a score. So if I give a 1 to every single song, it's an 11 out of 11. If I give a 0 to every single song, it's a 0 out of 11. If I give a half to every song, it's whatever half of 11 is. I would do a half for each song times 11. All right. So you get it. Now, let me write down. This is Megadeth Dystopia. All right. What else does the Wikipedia say about this album? In June 2013, Megadeth released its 14th studio album, Super Collider, to mixed critical reaction. I think I might have done it track by track. I'm not sure if I did or not. I don't remember liking it too much. Although if I probably went back and listened to it, I'd probably think it was just as good as this one. But I don't know. I should probably go back and listen. But I don't remember liking it very much. And in the months following the album's release, Dave Mustaine said that he and the rest of the band had already begun to discuss a follow-up. I think because people didn't like it, they said we better just get right back in the studio and start writing another one to redeem ourselves. According to him, though, he said he was influenced by the recent death of Jeff Hanneman from Slayer. It gave him a sense of mortality. Additionally, several hardships struck the band in 2014. The band was set to play the Soundwave Festival in Australia in February through March, but canceled after a disagreement with the promoters. And then in May, his brother died of cancer. So they canceled a bunch of shows because of that. And then in 2014, his Alzheimer's afflicted mother-in-law went missing from a campground. Her remains were discovered on November 26. I did not know that. Then after that, Sean Drover and Chris Broderick decided to quit the band. They would later emerge in a new band called Act of Defiance. Despite the departures, Dave Ellison announced that the band was intent on starting work on the album in early 2015. He additionally suggested that the album would help determine Broderick and Drover's replacements. All right, so there you go. There's a lot more about it on the Wikipedia, but I just don't feel like doing any more reading. All right, so the album is called Dystopia, produced by Dave Mustaine and Chris Rakestraw. It was recorded during April through July of 2015 in Leapers Fork, Tennessee at Latitude South Studios, which is probably outside of Nashville. Didn't Dave Mustaine move to Nashville? I think he did. He was living in Arizona for a while, and then he moved to Nashville, like so many other people moved to Nashville. Why is everybody moving to Nashville? I don't know. I think Nashville is probably the new LA, right? I would like to live outside of Nashville. I'd rather live in Nashville than San Francisco, I'll tell you that. I'm going to take a sip of this fine Tecate because my mouth is getting dry. This lyrical theme of this song, or this album, seemed to be anti-Obama. It seems to be a lot of anti-Obama on this. He does not mention Obama by name, but I remember hearing that Dave Mustaine is a super hardcore conservative and a born-again Christian, which is kind of surprising. So we'll listen to the lyrics and stuff together. Let's see. The original, there are several bonus tracks on this album. There is Japanese Addiction. The Japanese version of Dystopia has one bonus track called Me Hate You. On Spotify, there's a bonus track called Melt the Ice Away, which is the cover of a Budgie tune. And the iTunes and Best Buy editions has a bonus track called Look Who's Talking and Last Dying Whoosh. But the regular version, there's 11 songs, and that's what we're going to do tonight, friends. 11 songs. The total running time of the album is 46 minutes and 51 seconds. Like I said before, playing on the album are Dave Mustaine, lead vocals, lead rhythm, and acoustic guitars. Dave Jr., which is Dave Ellison on bass guitar and some backing vocals. Kiko Lorio on lead rhythm and acoustic guitars and piano on Poisonous Shadows. And then Chris Adler from Lamb of God on drums. There's a guy playing steel guitar named Steve Werner. There's some orchestral arrangements by Charlie Drudge. There's a girl doing guest vocals on The Threat Is Real. Her name is Farah Siraj. There is Miles Dolak doing voiceover on Conquer or Die. Chris Rodriguez has some background vocals, and a guy named Eric Darkin on percussion. Artwork is done by Brent Elliott White. Dave Mustaine had the concept for the album cover. The album cover is, what's it look like? It looks like a standard Megadeth album. It's got the guy and their version of Eddie. I don't know what his name is. And he's underneath a bridge, it looks like. It's kind of a typical Megadeth album cover. But the art direction was done by Dave Mustaine. Let's see. What else? No, Michael Bryan did the back cover. Chapman Baylor did the band photography. Josh Graham did additional layout and photography. Okay, enough of that. All right, the first song on Dystopia is called The Threat Is Real, which I think this was the first single which was released like back in October or something like that, I think. Something like that. Anyway, the first song, The Threat Is Real. Here you go. Single was released on November 25th, 2015. The Threat Is Real. Well, it's the second single. This song written by Dave Mustaine. Now, I'm going to try to listen to this in the frame of mind of a hardcore Megadeth fan, okay? Just like I did the Def Leppard and all the other track-by-tracks of bands that I'm not a huge fan of. The guitar tones, like all Megadeth, they look super compressed guitar. Sounds pretty heavy.
Justified obliteration. No one cares anymore.
No one cares anymore.
Murderer, no controlling who comes through the door. A culture made of cover-ups where leprosy touch their flesh. For backroom meetings and rendezvous, the vultures have come home to nest. The clock runs out. The weakest link.
Alright, pre-chorus, pretty good. Or is this the chorus?
The threat is real.
Lots of shredding, chorus somewhat catchy.
The burnished images of a crest fallen nations see. Violent.
Is it as good as Peace Sells, but who's buying? No. Is it as good as Countdown? Excuse me, I'm Burma is fine Tecate. Is it as good as Countdown to Extinction or the one I just played, whatever that was? Symphony of Destruction? No, definitely not.
Their cancer now eats us alive. A fatal shot. A lust for blood.
Is it as good as Sweating Bullets? No.
The threat is real.
Alright, solo. Shredding solo. Super tight double kick drums. It's kind of shredding for shredding's sake to me. Alright, I'm going to give that one a half. It's okay. It's not bad. I guess if I was a Megadeth fan, I'd like it okay. The second song is the first single from the album. Is it the first single? Let's see here. Let me look on the Wikipedia Book of Knowledge. No, it's just actually the third single, which was released early January. This is the title track, Dystopia. Dystopia. All right, pretty commercial sounding. I kind of like this.
Resist the twisted truth, no matter what the cost.
All Music, the all-knowing allmusic.com, gave this a 3 out of 4. Oh no, excuse me, a 4 out of 5.
That no one lies when someone is a dead. Dystopia.
I think the verses are more catchy than the chorus. Alright, it's a pretty good riff, actually.
There's panic and there's chaos rampant in the streets, where useless thoughts of peace are met with rage. Demoralized and overmastered people think the quickest way to end the war is loose. Dictatorship.
Again, this song written by Dave Mustaine.
You must destroy the cancer at its root. Dystopia.
I'm going to give this one a +1. I kind of like this one.
Dystopia.
Not soulful solos, but Dave Mustaine solos and Megadeth solos they've been more about shredding and speed and just blazing fast than soulful solos. Alright, more blistering shreds. Alright, the third song is called Fatal Illusion. Now, this was the first single, which was released, I think, way back in October. Also written by Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. Alright, the dive bomb all the way down. It's a string fully slacked. Maybe tuned down to a D or a C. Little bit like Sweating Bullets. Hello, me, it's me again. Alright, little masturbation going on here. There's Dave Jr. Kind of a long intro.
Locked away without a key. No one will ever miss a menace to society. A growth lack of potential, bad decisions made in spite. A touchy hairpin trigger and such wasted life.
So far, it's not doing much for me. But if I was a Megadeth fan, would it be doing a lot for me? I don't think it would. It's kind of not really going anywhere.
Guilty of the crime of nonconformity. A hanging judge and jury handed down the penalty. A lethal injection.
Kind of not a great song in my opinion.
Exterminate the problem.
I gotta give that one a 0. I'm sorry. So out of 3, we're at 1.5 out of 3. All right. Next song is called Death from Within, written by 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't. All right. There you go. It's Dave Mustaine. Death from Within. By the way, Megadeth's going on tour. Supposedly with Suicidal Tendencies, Children of Bodom, and Havoc. Starting February.
The heat is raging from the rising fires of war.
This kind of classic Megadeth here.
Soon begin to soar.
So far, so good.
Greater vengeance to us for one eye. Crowning, burning hatred that's lying deep inside. A token gift, destroyers deep within its hold. Revenge of patient men is sweet at best or cold. The enemy inside the belly of the beast. A mighty Trojan horse, tonight the sentries sleep. No place to run, nowhere to hide. No one is safe, no living thing survives. Regretting nothing.
I was liking it. The chorus is not. If we got to the chorus. Not a very catchy chorus. I mean, Megadeth has had a lot of really catchy tunes. It's not that catchy. I'm gonna give this one a half.
Prophets and messengers mocked and vilified.
So listen, get it through the second chorus.
Nation lying deep inside their cores. Their first line-up defense soon became their last
It's
resort.
not bad. I mean, it's decent enough metal.
And deceivers entered through their open gate.
This music to me, this music to me is more fun to play than to listen to. I think. At least that's what it was in Exodus for me. It was a blast to play metal music.
No one is safe. No living thing survives. Regretting nothing. The walls are caving in. A lethal.
Shit, I lost my pin.
We did confirm within.
Alright, not really doing it. I'm gonna give this one a half. Alright, enough. Next song is called Bullet to the Brain. Guess who wrote this one? You are correct! Bullet to the Brain. Nice fade in. Bullet to the Brain. Ah, a little acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitar. This is probably Dave Mustaine on acoustic guitar, I guess.
No one knows what draws the monster to flame.
Again, nothing really that catchy going on with the vocals. At the heart of all the good metal albums, including Peace Sells But Who's Buying and Symphony of and Countdown to Extinction, and even Judas Priest, Redeemer of Souls, and most good metal bands, including Iron Maiden, the heart of those songs is a good pop melody. And I'm not hearing that.
The taste touching his tongue, sweet to his lips, poison now penetrating deeper, betrayed by just one bite, for just one night, to find forbidden food taste sweeter. Just like pressing a load.
According to a magazine called, or a website called Exclaim, there's still enough here for fans to celebrate Megadeth getting back on track and starting a new chapter in the band's storied career, and placed it miles ahead of their rather forgettable last album. Sarah Rodman of the Boston Globe liked the combination of energetic riffs and cynical lyrics about the state of the world. Loudwire said Dystopia is a first-rate Megadeth album and praised the interplay between Mustaine and Loyolo.
And control penetrating deeper. The hex was cast on him. All he believes now is forbidden food tastes sweeter.
Again, it's okay. I gotta give it a half. I'm sorry. It's okay. Alright, the next song is... Where am I here? Okay, somebody was telling... Somebody... Somebody coincidentally just now sent me a message, sent me an email, and I was getting lost in the email saying, "Why aren't you back in Exodus? Dude, you ripped it live at the Anaconda in Santa Barbara. Low bass punk stance ripping. You played with Body Count, and I think the organization." There you go. So somebody's demanding that I get back into the metal scene. Trust me, friends, if Exodus asked me back in the band, I'd do it in a second. But no one has asked. Okay. The next song is called Post-American World. Guess who wrote this one? Wrong! It's Dave Mustaine and Kiko Loureiro. Postmodern World. The AV Club gave this album a D. That's a D.
We see each other through different eyes.
I like this. This sounds like classic Peace Cells era.
Cells by class and size.
By classic size.
I think I could do a pretty good Dave Mustaine impression.
This planet's become one big spinning disaster. If you don't like where we're going, then you won't like what's coming next. What will we look like in the post-American world? Why coward to all those who oppose the American world? When you walk away from that which makes you strong,
If there's a new way, I'll be the next in line.
I like this. This is good.
there's creeping hate if you resist a false narrative.
Creeping hate, that's a vessel foul attitude.
All the dissenters
Sure.
for themselves.
So, wow!
If you don't like where we're going,
If you don't like where we're going,
Stop singing, they tell me.
what will we look like in the post-American world?
All right, I'm
Why coward
giving this one a +1.
who oppose the American world?
I like the breakdown. Alright, I better stop it before I change my mind. The next song is called Poisonous Shadows. And the new guitar player plays piano on this song. And there's an orchestral arrangement done by Charlie Judge. And does the girl sing on this? Yes, the girl Farah Siraj. Who's Farah Siraj? We'll play the song. I'll look her up. Poisonous Shadows. She's a Jordanian virtuoso vocalist. She lives in Jordan, Amman, Jordan. She's a flamenco jazz and world fusion singer. Poisonous Shadows. Written by Dave Mustaine and Kiko Loureiro. Alright, kind of epic sounding so far. And then it's kind of going downhill a little bit. A little too, I don't know, which Ingve-ish? It's not it. Wrong description. The gong 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 doesn't really do it for me that much. There's the girl. Feel how much shame your shame do you have to conceal? You have to conceal. There is no I'm pissed off. Alright, enough of that. Just endless nights. Nobody's there. Nobody. It's pretty good double kick drum. Is it my face you see? Do I haunt you in your sleep? I like that pre-chorus. When you crawl through your nightmares, when there's no more grace, does your heart start to race? Crawling everywhere in the dark, poisonous shadows. I like this. I like those double kick drums. By the way, I can tear the metal up on the bass. I'm sorry, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I can fucking play the metal. It's all about, it's not the, for bass players, it's not the left hand at all. It's all the right hand. Listen to the bass, it's all one note. Just following the kick drum and the snare. I'm giving this one a +1. Next song is called Conquer or Die. Also written by Dave Mustaine and Kiko Laurerio. Conquer or Die. So let's count up what we got so far here. We got 1, 2, ooh, nice little classical guitar. There's a voiceover on this song done by Michael Doliak. Good guitar playing. It's an instrumental. That's a little like that riff right there is a little like a Jethro Tull song off of Aqualung called My God, which is a fucking great tune. Let me see if I can find My God. I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison. See, pull up Jethro Tull, J-E-T. How do you spell Jethro? All right, My God. Let's hear it. Listen. See? Listen. What a great tune this is, man. Fuck. I still have to do a classic albums revisit on Aqualung because this album, top to bottom, great album. Here. Now that's a riff. on acoustic guitar. That's heavy as hell.
What have you done?
Now you get me going on a Jethro Tull Aqualung tangent, man. Just listen to... I'm doing a Megadeth track by track. Why am I off on Jethro Tull? Because I'm comparing the songs. Now I'm getting sidetracked. Listen to that.
From the grave is the God of nothing, if that's all that you can see.
Oh, yeah.
You are the God of everything. He's inside you and me. So lean upon him.
I'm getting ready to get back to Conquer or Die.
And don't call on him to save.
Yeah! Woo! Alright, enough of that. Back to Conquer or Die. Okay. Lost my place. Little like My God, not as good. Martin Barr on guitar for Jethro Tull. That guy was badass. It's not bad though. So far I'm liking this. Oh no, I lost my pen again. Oh, I found it. Okay. See that brown brown. So lean upon him gently. Resurrected from the grave. I'm liking this. This is a nice break in the album. So far, I'm leading towards a +1 on this one. I like this. Alright, +1 for this one. The next song is called... I'll listen a little bit more. Alright, enough of that. I'm going to give that one a +1. The 9th song is now called, or is it the 9th song? That was Conquer or Die? Yeah. 9th song is called Lying in State. Written by Dave Mustaine. Alright, bludgeoning double bass. A nice Decline of Western Civilization reference.
How will history portray us? Attack the family. Attack the faith and dreams.
Attack the family.
A lasting legacy.
Legacy.
Haste. The enemy of truth is lying there in state.
There in state.
I like his vocals on this. Double bass constantly. Very easy for the bass to play with double bass. Simple. Just listen to it. It's all right hand. There's no shredding going on with the bass. All right hand. Fun as shit. You spread your legs, bass down to your knees, banging your head, just right hand. But what do I think of the song? It's okay. I'm giving it a half. They're probably as fun as hell to play. All right, enough of that one. The next song is called The Emperor. The Emperor.
Come here.
Come here.
Closer.
Oh, let me back that up. Come here. Closer. My Dave Mustaine. Come here. Closer.
Come here. Closer.
Yeah, I did pretty good.
Who do you think you are? Some kind of superstar. We'll see.
Who do you think you are? Some kind of superstar. I like that.
Where do you think you are? Take you far from me. You're just so dashing. You marvel at the sound of your own voice.
I like this. I like the way he records his vocals. He does a very obvious doubling that sounds cool.
Everybody knows they're petrified to say the emperor
Has no clothes. I'm already singing along.
so bloody perfect.
This is the best song in the album.
Knows they're just so petrified the emperor has no clothes. Just so you know, that's how it goes. You're bad.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Because you make me sick, you prick.
Dave, did he just say you make me sick, you prick? That's great.
You're bad for my health because you make me sick, you prick.
I like that. Nah, because you make me sick, you prick. That's good. That's good. That's how this whole album should be, Dave Mustaine.
You're bad. You're bad for my health because you make me sick.
You're bad for my health. You're bad for my health because you make me sick, you prick. That's great. That is great. This whole album should be that good. I would love it.
You're bad. You're bad for my health because you make me sick,
You prick.
prick.
Great. That's great.
Don't you know? Don't you know who I am? You know I like your face to kick.
You know I like your face to kick. That's great.
Stop moving, I know you must be lying.
And what's good about it is he sounds like he means it.
Life out of dying. You look so perfect, but everybody knows they're petrified to say the emperor has no clothes.
I think this song is about Obama.
Bloody perfect, but everybody knows they're just so petrified the emperor has no clothes.
That's good. That's good. Catchy as hell song. Big +1 for this one. You're bad for my health because you make me sick, you prick. All right, that's good. Big +1 on that. All right, the last song on the album is a cover of a Fear song, the band Fear. This is from the album called Fear the Record, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. If you do not have Fear the Record, did I do a classic albums revisit on this? I don't think I did, but I should. I need to make a note of that. Fear the Record. That is a fantastic album, top to bottom. Came out in, 82, I think. Leaving. Brilliant frontman. Has Let's Have a War on it, Beef Bologna, what else? I Don't Care About You, New York's Alright If You Like Saxophone. This song is the last song on that album, and it is, the last song on side, I think it's last song, I have the album, it's, I don't remember what, I Love Living in the Cities on that album. Oh, Fresh Flesh, We Gotta Get Out of This Place. What an album that is, man. Top to bottom, fucking brilliant album, that Fear the Record. Well, this song is called Foreign Policy, which I guess fits in Dave Mustaine's concept of this album. A Fear cover. So how could I not like this song? Do I have the original? I probably do. Let me see if I can find Fear here. Fear. Probably, since I lost my iTunes, I may not have Fear the Record. Oh, I do, but let me see if I can find it here. It's in the cloud, so I'm pulling it off of the cloud now. We're gonna hear the original first. That's fucking great. All right, you get the idea. That's the original now. All right, so here is the cover of Foreign Policy, the last song on the album, 11th song, written by Leaving.
Eliminated competence. Difference don't exist in our
Not as good as the original, but it's good effort. That's such a great melody right there. Isn't that right? Already. It's great.
We don't need no hands-up processing. We've got.
All right. I'm giving this one a +1, obviously. Let's tally it up now. Half, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 11. Let me do a recount. 1, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8. 8 out of 11. That's a pretty good score, actually. All right. I hope you like this class. I hope you like this track by track of Megadeth's album Dystopia. Thank you for the donations, friends. Without your donations, this show would die a horrible Megadeth. RockandRollGeek.com, area code 706-621-ROCK. We'll be back later on in the week, hopefully this week, with a regular show. Find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, RockandRollGeek. Don't ask. RockandRollGeek@gmail.com. If you agree with me, RockandRollGeek@gmail.com. If you disagree, the same thing, friends. We'll talk to you next time.
Weakness is disease. Well, we bury you. It's manifest destiny. We've got foreign policy. Foreign policy. Foreign policy. Foreign policy. Foreign policy. We've got foreign policy. Foreign policy.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.